What's up, YouTube? So it's PJ Chess here, back in another video. Today I have two games I played against someone on stream. I have his YouTube in the link below as well. Now we played these games, they're a little rusty, but I still wanted to show them because we both had some decent accuracies and it was pretty cool. I also have a video coming out probably tomorrow about I was playing a national master. She was a 14-time U.S. women's champion, so I want to show those games as well. I lost both games, obviously, but it was pretty instructive, and she told me some stuff, and hopefully get some more lessons sometime. But here are these games. You saw the accuracies. On 83 and 90.6, and then 92 and 83.8. If you want to be in a video like this, you want to come to stream, I stream on YouTube and I stream on TikTok. PJ Chess for both of them. So let's get into it. They go e4, I go e5, knight to f3, knight to f6, and knight here to c3. Now, I've played this quite a lot, the Petrov defense. I want to learn knight c6, but right now, I'm just trying to master the Petrov first, and then I'll go to knight c6, which I kind of did it backwards. When I played when I was younger, I did knight c6, and I would lose to the Scotch sometimes when I got back, so I started doing this instead. So I go here to d6, a book move, but it is a bit worse in the position. As you see, I'm minus 0.4 to start the game off. We go d4, I take, they take, bishop here to e7. I kind of figured you have to go there. Go on knight c6. I mean, it's probably fine, but I just thought it runs into bishop here. Oh, that's also a book move. So they're both fine. But I chose this way. They go bishop here to d3. I go pawn here to h6. Should have castled immediately. I was trying to stop the bishop from coming here to g5. That was a thought, but clearly that was a bit incorrect. They castle. I go pawn here to c6. And now this is where I could feel. Now this, obviously, not playing with the eval bar, but I could feel that I'm in a worse position. Because when you never want to go, or I don't want to say never, going d5 runs into e5, which is the issue. Like, this is the problem. So, but when you go c6 like I did, this also feels kind of weak because you still can never go d5. Like, let's say that you still can't really go d5, honestly, because of this. Exactly, like you see the eval bar. So this is when I realized, not a great position. And then if I want to develop my knight, then the knight gets on this beautiful square here on f5. So I start to feel the pressure a little bit. They go rook here to e1. I castle, just, basic things first. Make sure I get my king safe. Bishop here to f4. And now, as I mentioned, knight b to d7. Now this is a mistake. I should have went rook here to e8. I didn't consider it, honestly. The only moves I was thinking about was either knight here or bishop to g4. Was that okay? No, these are both. The only two moves I thought about were bad. Well, let's see the analysis. Maybe there weren't that many. So rook e8, a6, and a5. Wow. Did not consider a6, a5 in this position, honestly, because I had two pieces undeveloped. But yeah, rook e8 is clearly the best, and I did not find it. Why it is, I don't fully get. Because they can still push, which is like, this position is not too good. They can still push the pawn at any point. But knight b to d7 is mentioned. Knight to f3, this is a miss. Now, knight to f5, maybe it's a different game. You put in pressure here and drop the bishop back, and it's a lot. Actually, let's just put that on the board. If it's a knight here, this pawn is weak, attacking the bishop. So I'd probably have to go knight, I assume, here. Oh, no. Wrong square. Oh, yeah, I have to block, because if I don't block, then you just drop back, and then there's pressure on that. If I push, then push. So saying I'm winning there. So yeah, that's actually a blunder. Or maybe I missed something there. But they go back knight to f3. They go knight here to c5. Now it's back to equal game. It still didn't really feel like it, because again, I have my pawn stuck on the 6th rank. Is going to d5 would allow pawn to e5. So I still feel like I'm losing at this point. I attack the bishop with my knight. I'm looking to go knight here to e6. And I'm hoping that eventually I can go d5. I'm also putting some pressure here on this pawn. So I'm also considering maybe I can take it at some point. But I don't think that happens. They push, which lightens up the scenario for me. I don't have to worry about pushing here and this getting initiative. So I'm pretty sure instantaneously. I don't do it quick. I think maybe I was making sure this knight was protected still. I don't know why I didn't do this quicker. Because it would be 5 seconds. I should have taken that immediately. Obviously, I should take that. I was very worried about this part in the position, and now it's like a deep breath, a relief, a sigh that I get to remove that pawn from the game. They take back with a knight, which is the best move. I take the bishop. They take back with a knight, and bishop here to d6. I saw bishop here, but I didn't think it made sense, just because after f3, slide back, and then I'm actually winning here, or minus 0.4. But obviously, I'm not playing with the eval bar. I thought I should get the bishop out the way so my king isn't tied down to the protection of it as the rook is staring at it right now. But that was an incorrect process. So I go bishop to d6. The queen comes up. I trade again. And again, I did consider going bishop here. But I thought after queen here, like, Like, why? Like, it just seemed like there was nothing good here happening for me. I know I have a lot of pieces that are active, but it didn't feel like there was anything that I could do immediately, so I didn't go for it. And then, yeah. So I take the bishop. They take back with the knight. The queen was better. I didn't know that. I can't believe it. It being a mistake kind of surprises me. I thought the knight was just fine. But maybe it's because the knight can't go to any squares, really, that has anything useful. Whereas you take with the queen, you can go knight here instead, which is probably a better square, or there. That would be my guess, but again, not fully sure. But I take, they take, and bishop here to f5. This is one of those moves. It's to attack the pawn, and then there's no discovered attack. So if you can see, the queen will x-ray the bishop if the knight moves. And usually this is a bad thing, but there's no pawn there, there's no pawn there, no pawn there, no pawn there, not even a check to like give a bad pawn structure or anything. So they can't take anything. So when they do move the knight, like you see, it attacks my bishop, but I can move it as the knight is not even it's not threatening like a fork here or anything, so it's perfectly fine. I decide to take, they take, and I decide to take here, although bishop, sometimes it is better than the knight, depending on what part of the game. I do it to create a weakness, which is this isolated pawn here on the d file, and I keep it the rest of the game, as you'll see. I go queen here to b6, slide the rook over, I slide my rook a to d8 to put pressure on this isolated pawn. Rook goes over, rook comes up. Again, we want to put pressure on this isolated pawn, and they move knight here. Now, knight here to e4 is a pretty good move. I know it says good, but I feel it was an excellent move. The idea is to take, and the reason I feel like it works so well, you'll see. Oh, no, 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 no. Pretend you didn't see that. Pretend you didn't see that. Please, pretend you did not see that. I want to move my knight out the way, but I shouldn't move my knight back. And the reason why my knight out the way is good, maybe, I guess it speeds it up, but it also removes a piece from this side of the board. If they're trying to counterattack, maybe f4 once my queen moves. I really thought it was a good idea. And then if I take it, obviously, then the pawn becomes unisolated. But yeah, I can't believe I just spoiled the rest of the game. My bad. But I go knight to d5, queen slides over. I double up on the d files I was mentioning I want to do. And something to take note of, because this knight can't be removed by a pawn, I believe it's called an outpost, and they can't get this fork here with the knight. Because say the knight wasn't here, let's say, it's, whose turn is it? Say I went here, this, they can go and they can take the knight, take that, because the knight's guarding it. But because of where it's at, it's perfectly fine. They go pawn here to d4, the best move. I sign my queen back offering a trade. They avoid it, and now I sort of force the issue. Now they cannot avoid it. Well, they can go here, but that's just not a very good move. I'm pretty sure. What? I don't see the exact kill. Maybe it's this. It's just not a good move. I can't remember now, but during the game I was like, yeah, there's a reason. Yeah, it is just rook e8. I said it just doesn't work to not take the queen, so they have to take. And now, as I mentioned, I still kept their d pawn weakness. They move knight here to c5, a great move, the best move. It attacks the rook, it attacks the pawn, and more importantly, it undoubles up this file. The whole reason having an isolated pawn is an issue is I can eventually stack up and take it. But say I were to trade here, it defeats the whole point of this. Like, I was trying to do that to get an advantage, but now we have equal material. I'm trying to get this pawn for free. So that's why knight c5 is a great move. I slide over, but they blunder here. Going pawn to h3 happens, and I push here. I don't even have the best response to it. I could have won the pawn here. I saw the knight fork, but for some reason I was like, it doesn't work. I'm looking at it now. What I was seeing was a ghost. I think what I saw was here, 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 and then this is just pinned because the rook isn't back. But it doesn't matter, because if they go knight back, I can just, I can even just go back or over. Yeah, I was just a complete miss. I miscalculated, but the knight drops back, I slide over, and a blunder here just ends the game. 92 check, and they resign, because they're just going to lose the rook. They went here to attack the pawn, but yeah, just a one-move blunder there. Pretty good game overall. And then here's the second game that we played against each other. 92% accuracy from me and 84 from them. This one I think is a little longer. Yeah, I say it is a little longer. There's a lot, about double the length in the game. But I go d4, they go d5, bishop to f4, knight here to f6, pawn to e3, pawn to c6, semi-Slav defense, I believe, and then bishop here to d3. This move was not a book move. Again, I really don't like following the computer here. Going knight, because I just don't love losing this exchange there. It's saying I should just let bishop e5, but I guess they can't push. But what if they went here, like knight? Now I have to trade the knight for bishop. And that's something I'm trying to do at the start of the game. I like to keep my bishops on as long as I can. So that's why I go bishop d3 instead. And then I'm sure I go ASM. I'm sure I go h3 at some point to keep this like escape square from my bishop. But they go knight b to d7 as I mentioned. They go now e6, knight f3. Knight goes here, knight b to d7, knight d to b6, d7 to b6. Wow. I'm thinking of that one, but it's this jump. It's like d to b, b to d, d to b, d to b. There we go. So I go c3, bishop here to d6, trade bishops. Again, something that I played in London so much, I know what the computer recommendation is. I don't go for it. Maybe that's why I can't make that next step yet, but I'm just not comfortable playing that position. I know I need a dart square bishop. Maybe, I guess I should, maybe I'll try one game to just control that square, but I just trade to avoid having to have double pawns on the f-file, although not the worst thing, not the best either. They take back with the queen, knight b to d2, they castle, I castle, which is a bit of an inaccuracy from me, and they go knight b to d7. I push the e pawn, they take, I take, they take, I take, and knight here to, what is this, to f3, f6. I drive my bishop back as I don't want to trade it off. I could try to protect it with queen or a rook over here or queen there, but I decided to just get it out the way to keep the bishop on the board and have this long-term pressure on the diagonal. They push pawn to b6, clearly trying to fianchetto here and attack the knight and go for this checkmate over here. I go rook here to e2, e1, excuse me, bishop to b7, and I go a4. Not a great move. I had a slight advantage if I went b4. You may be able to see why I was a little bit hesitant to go b4. If you go b4, it does do that in stopping the pawn push. But now this pawn is a backwards pawn, and pushing here, they can always slide over and put pressure on it. So I was a little hesitant, and I go for the different one going a4. They go pawn to a5 in an accuracy. I didn't think so. I thought it was a good move, honestly. It stopped me going a5, which is an idea in this position. I played that in a tournament, actually, before going a5, trying to... It's a minority attack. Well, is it? I don't know if it's a minority attack. I think minority is like literally 2-on-3. So it's not in that sense, but like just this one pawn by itself, trying to mess up the pawn structure was the idea. But they go a5 again, as I mentioned. Queen e2, rook slides over, and I offer a queen trade. I offered a queen trade mostly because I didn't know what else to do, and I thought going to endgame would be okay. But they avoid it, and then should have slid the rook over, but queen just drops back, avoiding it. I would have avoided it too if I was black, honestly. I don't think I would have accepted it. One, in general, I try and avoid doing what the opponent wants. And two, this bishop, while I obviously see it, there could be tactics on this diagonal, and they're a lot less potent without the queen on the board. I saw my rook here to d1, pawn goes to h6, and knight drops back to d2. Sometimes you have to reroute your knight to get to a better square. I'm looking to go there to force some trades off and weaken up the defense of the king. Maybe even go rook lift. I don't believe I get to do it, but that was in my mind a bit. They go b5. I go knight here to e4. Now, the reason that you don't have to worry about them taking that, not only can you take back, but you can also take there with the queen. They take the knight. I take with the bishop. Now, this is incorrect. Now, let me tell you what I was thinking. If I do go here, queen slides over, queen here, and then king up, and then nothing happens. So I'm -2. But if you can see if you're watching without, I can't even take this out. But if you're watching without the eval bar, you wouldn't know that you're winning this. Well, maybe you would. I didn't know I was winning this position without the eval bar. So I took with the bishop, centralize it, and I'm still winning a little, like just not a lot. They take the pawn. I take this pawn. Rook slides over. Queen here, and this is when I realize I have a chance to win the game, as this pawn is just going to fall. It's not. There's no defense quick enough really to get over it and guard it from what's going to be an avalanche of pressure. Like I could get 4 attackers on it pretty quickly. And then when the rook slides over, it's kind of hard to protect. So I go rook to a1, bishop back. I almost went rook here. I was doing this on stream, and I was like, oh, wait, I don't have to go there. I was about to go there and then like slide over, but that was kind of dumb. Because once I just go bishop there, the bishop again, it takes 2 moves, and this pawn is going to fall. They can't push, and they go rook up. I take, they slide their rook over. I slide over again with my last remaining rook. I want to trade off now that I'm up this material. Take. And I'm going to this winning endgame. Only up a pawn, so it is drawable, but I have to figure out how I should be able to convert it. The queen slides over. I go pawn. That was the best move, okay. Because you'll see. I debated on this for a while. It took me, 23 seconds, and there was some time on their clock. I was thinking about it as well. I wasn't sure what to do, because if you don't go g3, say, something else I considered was here trying to put pressure. If the queen gets in, this seems kind of inevitable. So, and I was like, well, I don't want the queen again, and that feels wrong. so I avoided that, and I go g3. The queen slides back. I take the pawn. Something here you may be thinking they could take and force. Because the pawn is protected, I could just take, and then the queen is anchored there. You can see it's saying go all the way back, but same idea. The queen, it's not a pin, so it works out. They move their bishop out the way, trying to constrict my king a little bit over here. Offer trade again. They slide back, and here I go bishop to f1. Realizing that it could be a repetition, I just get a piece by my king to protect it. The queen goes here, and again, I think I take a very long time to realize I can just take the queen. Yeah, 16 seconds. I was like, oh, well, can I go here? Can I go here? Can I just go there? Look at that. And I'm like, wait, I can just take the queen. And we can trade and go to a winning endgame for me. I move my bishop, offer to trade again just to get some time. Or no, I didn't get time, just to think, like catch my thoughts for a second. And now I have 2 passers, so it's kind of hard to defend. I offer a trade again. Now I get my king running. This was, I thought, a great little range I threw in there going f4. Now the pawns, the bishop can never get on this diagonal. It's going to be too clogged up, as you see. They can't push, and this pawn can't go through another pawn, so I'm in a pretty good position. They go g6, king over, check, king here. We wanted to, something important, we wanted to avoid going pawn here. I mean, I'm sure it was still fine, but just as technical as possible. Pawn here before the bishop move, because then it was bishop could check, and we wanted to avoid them pushing on the light squares. But since the bishop was here, it couldn't move there quick enough, and it's fine. We push again, push, and now we're just trying to break through on this side with 2 passers. Kind of hard to come back from. Yeah, mate in 3, and now they resign because the next move is checkmate. The next legal move, the only legal move is pawn here g5, and then this will be mate. The king protects the pawn, bishop protects, pawn protects this square, and king guards that square. So yeah, those are 2 games I played against Rob Master. Again, his account is YouTube Chess, will be linked below. And if you want to be in a video like this, make sure you subscribe and tune in for my streams on TikTok and on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining or watching. I haven't been streaming a lot lately, and have a good one.